name's Paul Douglas Peart, Paul Peart. Consider myself a poet. Others may consider me a rapper. My music is very realistic. It's about real life, real situations, whether they be positive or negative. For a living, I'm a fireman, and there's no joke. It's not a pun on words or a play on words. I am a fireman. I also own a couple of properties, so that's how I make my living. I started about 5-6 years ago. I was in a punk hip-hop band called the Abandoned Babies. It was a great experience. I mean, we did a lot and we got quite far, but obviously it just wasn't meant to be. Started getting back into music, I think around, well, we shot a video last year, so I'd say around June, July last year, I decided that I wanted to give it a shot and this time go full steam ahead. Videos on YouTube at the moment. Lead single off a 2-track single that I've got out on iTunes and Amazon called Sorry. The other tune, the B-side, is Familiar Family Cycles. A lot of people ask me what makes you different, what makes you stand out from the crowd. You know, there's a lot of guys trying to get into the music industry, especially with the independent route being so lucrative and easy to get into with the internet at the moment. Personally, I'd say I wouldn't consider myself different or standing out or any of that type of stuff. What I would say is my lyrics, my flow, it's all me, you know. And I think that's very lacking in today's music industry, especially at the moment within hip-hop, the hip-hop genre, and also grime. At the moment we've got quite a few things going, a couple of music videos in the pipeline. Obviously Sorry's on YouTube. Also I've got a 2-track single, as I've already stated, out on Amazon, MP3 and iTunes. It's a 2-track single. It's one of the tracks is Sorry, which is a video on YouTube, and the other one is Familiar Family Cycles. Sorry is about a relationship breaking down, but the two people still being in love with each other. Familiar Family Cycles is about domestic violence and the effect and the cycle that it has on the children that are involved in that environment. There will be happier stuff. That's just the 2 tracks that I feel are real nice. Further from that, I just want to start doing a lot more travelling, get a lot more into the internet crowd harder, garner a wider audience, wider fan base, and then hopefully push for the LP. I'm not really at this moment in time looking to join a record label or get a deal or anything like that, because I feel like as long as you've got the demand and you've got the people on your side, creatively and financially, it's probably better to be independent until you are, you know, at a stage where you've got like 500,000 fans or 1 million fans, and then you can get the label deal that you really want and you really deserve. So until then, in my opinion, you know, it's good to be independent, maybe go with an independent label, but at this stage I'm not really looking at the label side of it. I'm just looking at garnering a fan base, getting my voice out there and hopefully touching people with these stories, because, you know, it's real life, and what's more entertaining than that? I think the state of the game at the moment, hip-hop anyway, and music in general, is it's pretty good. I mean, you know, you always had this talk of indie bands, but the indie bands in England were always signed to major labels, so that never made sense to me that the whole genre was called indie, yet hardly any of the actual bands were independent. But now we're at a state where being independent is it's the place to be, and because of the internet, you know, because technology is a lot cheaper and a lot more easier to get to, and people in general, children, the youth out there, were a lot more in tune with you know, technological advancements and stuff like that, so we can pretty much do it all by ourselves. I mean, I think the only thing we really need the big machine for is when you want manufacturing, distribution to a huge audience, you know, millions, 500,000, etc, etc. But I mean, before then, we could pretty much do it ourselves. I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, obviously you get every Tom, Dick and Harry trying to rap, you know, like I couldn't count the amount of people you go on YouTube with and you hear like, yeah, I'm MC such and such and I'm doing this and I'm keeping it real, and you hear the song and it either sounds like someone who's already out or it's just straight trash. But at the same time, I think it's really good for people to get into, because I mean, there's places in the world where you wouldn't be able to get heard unless it wasn't for the internet, you know. They just don't have any record companies. Places in Africa, you know, even certain places in America, like, I mean, the Down South movement is a prime example of that. I mean, they never had no big labels. I think they had like Rap A Lot. I think that was about it, wasn't it? And then after a while they got Swisher House, but they had to go the independent route because they weren't in LA or New York where there was a lot of, you know, labels. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing if you're willing to put the grind in. It's a good thing.